All right, let's take a look at one way we can do hypothesis testing. So a researcher is testing whether a certain medication for raising glucose levels is more effective at higher doses. In a random trial, fasting glucose levels of 5 patients being treated at a normal dose in Group A, your control group, and 5 patients being treated at a high dose, Group B, were recorded. The glucose levels in millimoles per liter are shown. Now for this example, the units are not terribly significant. It asks us to start off by stating the null hypothesis. Please don't just give me something generic like the two groups are the same. Give me something a little more specific, like the glucose levels in the groups are the same. Now, that doesn't mean every single glucose level is going to match between the two groups, but it just means overall there's no significant differences between the two. Now, how are we going to test this out? Well, one thing we're going to do is we're going to make a box and whisker plot. Now, I've already taken the liberty for both of these groups of putting them in order, putting the values in order, that is. So let's take a look at Group A. There are 5 terms here. The middle term is 4.8, middle being your median. Now for the lower half, you've got 4.3 and 4.6. There's only 2 terms there, so it's got to be right in between them. The average of those two is 4.45. Sorry, yeah, 4.45. I was thinking of a different problem. And for the upper group, between 5.4 and 5.7, halfway between there is 5.55. Now for Group B, in red, middle term, 5.1. For our lower half, we're looking for halfway between 4.2 and 4.9. Sorry, I forgot to write that down. So halfway between 4.2 and 4.9 is 4.55. And for our upper half, between 5.5 and 5.9, halfway between there is 5.7. Again, if something ever falls between two numbers, you're taking the average, or adding up those two numbers and dividing by 2. So on our number line, and these are going to be kind of scrunched together, but we'll make do. So I'm going to do Group A first in blue. We said our median was at 4.8, so that's right here. Our quartile 1 is at 4.45, so right here. And our quartile 3 at 5.55 up here. And we have a maximum of 5.7 right here, and a minimum of 4.3, which is down here. Now make sure you complete your box and draw your whiskers. So that's our box and whisker for Group A. Now for Group B, the treatment group, go through and do the same thing. So we have a median at 5.1, so right here. A quartile 1 at 4.55, so right down here, and a quartile 3 at 5.7, which is up here. And we have a minimum of 4.2 down here, and a maximum of 5.9 up here. Again, make sure you close that box off entirely and draw your whiskers. So that's Group B. Now this is one of those instances we're going to have to kind of trust our visuals. Does it look like there's a significant difference between the two? I would argue probably not terribly significant because, well, look at Group B. Group B has a minimum way down here. Even though its maximum goes higher and it's maybe shifted a little bit higher, it's probably not significant enough. So there's not enough info to reject the null hypothesis. Now remember, our null hypothesis stated that the two groups are the same. So we're not going to reject that. We're going to accept it. So that means we're saying the two groups are the same, or it's the same enough. My apologies for my typos there. So, not enough information for us to reject the null hypothesis.